In Syria, rescue efforts in the wake of the devastating earthquake are being hampered by the complications of a decade-long war there. But despite the obstacles, vital supplies are now slowly trickling into Syria, with the government saying it will allow humanitarian assistance into rebel-held areas. A second UN relief convoy has also now gotten through.
The devastating earthquake has struck an unimaginable blow to Syrians already struggling with years of civil war. Many of the people living in the Latakia province had fled the fighting in Idlib, only for disaster to hit their new homes. Community leaders say many refugees were living in these collapsed buildings.
My cousin and his wife have 3 children. We do not know anything about them. Their home is on the 2nd floor.
The United Nations estimates 3.5 million people may now be homeless after the quakes, which have killed thousands of others. But assistance has been slow. Relief efforts hampered by the complications of war and roads damaged by the shaking. In a carefully choreographed tour of the quake zone, President Bashar al-Assad visited a hospital. He has agreed to international demands to allow aid into regions not under state control, meaning it no longer needs to go via Damascus.
A second UN aid convoy entered a short time ago, consisting of 14 trucks loaded with various relief supplies and materials for tents, hygiene and some food. It will be handed over to an organization partnering with the UN operating in liberated areas. From there, the aid will be distributed to those affected by the earthquake.
With power outages and a lack of food and shelter, the race is on to get assistance to those struggling to survive. The earthquake response now turning into a desperate humanitarian situation, dealing another blow to Syrians who have already endured so much.
We're now joined by Ahmed Byram from the Norwegian Refugee Council based in Amman, Jordan, that provides help to Syrian refugees there. Ahmed, what is the single most challenging task humanitarian organizations like yours face right now in Syria?
The challenges are, of course, too many. The biggest, probably one of them, is the overwhelming nature of the disaster. We're talking about millions of people affected, millions of people who have, woken up with no home. People are staying in collective shelters where there's not enough food, there's not enough heating, there's not enough water. People have to sometimes walk outside a few kilometers to just get to the nearest bathroom. So the situation is very overwhelming, and with the trickle of fund that we have seen so far, it's going to make everything more challenging. Despite the good rhetoric, the hopeful and optimistic rhetoric we're hearing, on the ground, the situation, our teams are on the ground as we speak, and they are talking about a massive, massive challenge ahead of everyone.
You talk about the fact that people are waking up and finding out that they are homeless and that they're going to shelters that are not exactly up to speed, so to speak. How is that situation going to be rectified when you have thousands of people trying to make home in these shelters, and those shelters are not providing the basic needs that people have?
Absolutely, absolutely. We've learned from 12 years of the Syria crisis that staying away from home comes with a whole catalogue of challenges. I mean, people have to stay in overcrowded shelters now. A lot of children are not sleeping well. I mean, this is probably one of the issues that have not been covered enough. The impact on children's mental health, children who probably have slightly, to some extent, let's say, overcome the 12 past years, and now the ghosts and dark memories of the war have come back. The scale of the mission ahead of everyone is huge, and simply because a lot of these people, we're talking about, I think the numbers are now over 5 million people affected by this. A lot of those will not be able to go back home, and that means long-term displacement on top of another wave of displacement, on top of a crisis, and that's why we need everyone to come together.
The Syrian government says it will allow aid to be delivered into rebel-held areas. How confident are you that this will indeed help relieve the situation?
I mean, we've been saying this for 5 days. We need to explore all fronts, all modalities, all routes. The mission is one, and of course the challenge is one for everyone, which is to get people out from under the rubble alive, and at the same time attend to those who are in shelters. Now, of course, we work across Syrian government areas, and we are providing aid as we speak, and we are. Of course, in places like Aleppo, like Latakia, like Hama, like Idlib, where we know that every little decision here or there can go a long way to helping you help people survive, help people overcome this overwhelming disaster. This is why we think that the recent days, particularly the last 24 hours, we have seen a lot of good progress on that front. Now it's time for action, and it's time for those the big donors, the international powers, to start pushing this file and to start funding the disaster that has overwhelmed everyone and has engulfed the whole of the north and central of Syria.
Yeah. I think we will have to end it there. That is Ahmed Byram from the Norwegian Refugee Council in Amman, Jordan. Many, many thanks.
Thank you.